Number 1. And that will be your boys. That will be your absolute boys right there with Billy the Bob Decimator, Fireball Ninja, Lord Ludd, and hi-rez. And on the other side, you've got that 4th place guaranteed. They lost match 1, but they still got 2 more. Blue Isaiah. My main is GM, Sand Shrew, and Sand J. Into the bands of the day. We've got ourselves Aphrodite, Pele, Raven, and Discordia taken off the board for now. Persephone banned out as well as Thor. Scylla left on the table once again. And they are going to go ahead and lock it right on in. This does mean that there's a lot of good gods on the table still, though. You've got Sobek, you've got Yamoja, all sorts of good stuff. Looking at Woojer. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I suppose. Looking at a Soul right now. Soul has not been buffed yet. Soul does not get buffed until about midway through June is when her buff will go live. So this is pre-increased projectile speed Soul if they were to decide to lock that in. But no, they're going to go with the Woojer. If it works once, it can work twice. And a Cuchulainn for that solo lane. I love the Cuchulainn solo pick. He actually has very strong damage as a solo laner because of his rage transformation. And having really strong damage gives you really strong carry potential. He is one of the few solo laners that I think has genuine shots at 1v1ing the lane opponent. Unless that ends up being a Sobek solo, pretty much impossible to 1v1 Sobek solo. But we've mostly seen Sobek support in this tournament. So I would imagine that's a Sobek support. That Camazotz, though, also a flex pick. Could be Camazotz jungle or Camazotz solo. So really, both of those are actually flex picks. Support solo or jungle solo. Susano was left on the board. Going to be locked in for Fireball Ninja. A lot of very good Susano players have been in this tournament. We saw Eminem get that banned out against him every single game. He ended up getting 3rd place. Fireball very comfortable on Susano. A lot of very good Susano junglers have been put into this tournament. Ares off the board. You knew it was going to be. No way are they going to let that happen. Rama banned as well. Final ban potentially of the tournament is going to be Hell. Take that healer right off the board. I like that. Vulcan gonna go ahead and be locked in. Interesting combination. I actually like it with the Cuchulainn and Susano. They've got a lot of knockups, a lot of things that make people stand still. You combine that with the Woojer as well. A lot of big circle AoE team fight oriented gods right now on that team. Xbalanque, though, if anybody is going to interrupt a good team fight composition, it's going to be Xbalanque blinding you. You can't see nothing. Real hard to combine your Susano and Vulcan ult when you can't see where the other person is trying to fight. Athena, though, going to wrap it all together. A little bit of map presence, a little bit of taunting into those circles. I like the composition from both teams. Scylla, Sobek, Camazotz, Ardio, and Xbalanque versus Vulcan, Cuchulainn, Susano, Athena, and who? As we wait for the first minions to spawn. And the game is afoot. And so it begins. Vulcan had put down a turret over at speed buff so he could walk all the way up to the lane and basically be up there with the skill up. Ardio dashing on through, trying to fight this Athena already. Athena dashing on through. A lot of damage already out to the supports in the duo lane, but Arthur Knight did win the lane clear. Ardio with a double root, though. That's actually really nice to help out our team. Get some good damage out right there for Sanjay. Lord Ludd taking a lot of damage, but they do get to level 2. Meanwhile, over in the mid lane, Camazot is looking for some action. Lands himself a 2 onto Susano, but Scylla Crush doesn't actually quite connect onto him. Pretty even in the lane clear, but no real fight breaking out. Hui has to jump away from the Ardio. Athena doesn't have nearly as strong as a laning phase as she has in previous metas right now. A little bit too hard for her to get her clear off without getting all up in the business of the ADC and getting her brains poked out, which is why you can see somebody like Ardio able to poke from a longer range, being more effective in that clear department. Not to mention, generically, Xbalanque clear is really, really good. So it's a little bit that Xbalanque clear is so good right now as well. Xbalanque going to be getting slightly nerfed in the upcoming patches, taking away 5% damage off of his bolas. To try to help out with some of that clear. Ardio and Xbalanque were off in the jungle trying to get some farm, and because of that, they actually get pushed back by Arthur Knights and take a bit of damage right there. Both purple buffs are up right now, which means this is actually a very important wave to win. Getting this clear could mean a potential invade on the enemy's purple buff, or just guaranteed securing your own. And it looks like Arthur Knights is going to take that opportunity to go back and just secure their own purple buff. Actually like this for their composition. No point for them to go get themselves in an invade. Honestly, the 2v2 fight is not in their favor. Ardio has a very strong early game 2v2 fight. Mostly due to the fact that she's got basically twice as many abilities. Who would have thought that having twice as many abilities would be very good? In the mid lane, we have the Scylla Vulcan matchup, which is a interesting matchup for mid laners. But wait a second, back over in the dual lane, Xbalanque had gotten himself taunted right there, had to dash himself right on out. He's okay now. Scylla Vulcan's interesting because Vulcan actually has nice poke onto Scylla, and the Scylla turret is a great body blocker of Scylla root until the later stages of the game, where Vulcan turret becomes a liability when it becomes the AoE Scylla root. Arthur Knights rotate over their Susano all the way to duo, but unfortunately they are pushed underneath the tower, and so they're not going to be able to get that. He also doesn't realize that their red buff is still up after all this time. So he doesn't go for the red buff steal either, and he actually falls behind a bit in the XP department right there from that unsuccessful gank rotation. Vulcan, though, probably actually has a little bit of extra XP because he got the solo farm. You see this a lot. You see this a lot towards the end of tournaments, especially when you get down to what could be the final game of a finals of a third place match, something like that. We are 4 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. There are no deaths so far, and really no serious kills yet, except for right there. We finally see the first attempt. Ardio dives into the Vulcan, doesn't quite get the kill right there because of a great Athena ulti. Scylla lands down right on top of him, but those mitigations provided by Athena ult will make sure the Vulcan honestly doesn't even take that much damage. He can actually safely stay right there, and Scylla is the one that ends up having to back up out of this. Once you get to these last stages, and everything is right at the very end, nobody wants to be the first person to die. Nobody wants to be that guy that was the first blood in the game, that was the potential last game. So you'll start to see people maybe even play a little bit extra careful compared to how they normally play, because nobody wants to be the one that starts the snowball down the mountain. Although I will say right now, Arthur Knights just straight up out farming 4th place guaranteed. Susano ulti comes out trying to save his Vulcan, but the Camazot's ult will pick up the first blood on Billy the Bob. 3 members of 4th place guaranteed had rotated over. My main is GM might be in trouble now, though. That's a shell down for them. There is the Scylla looking for it. No! He misses the Susano one, but hi-rez rotates over and cleans it up. Makes it a 1-for-1 trade. And it may not be over. If Athena has her dash up, they might be able to continue chasing on this. No, they are not going to. They're going to go ahead and let that go. Take the 1v1 trade, and they're going to make sure to grab this red buff as their prize. First blood, though, did go the way of Camazotz. Lord Blood now in trouble. He's got 3 members on him. He's going to get fully collapsed on. He's trying to Athena ulti out, but he's never going to be able to get out of that in time. Good combination right there from 4th place, following up after they went for the red buff invade. Making sure they pick up a 2nd kill. Vulcan is a very hard target to play in the mid lane. Particularly against a god like Camazotz, who can dive him underneath tower with that ultimate at the end. Very hard for him to play against. Camazotz and Robin, 2 of my least favorite characters to play against as a Vulcan. Very little that you can counterplay against them. Your real only counterplay is your positioning being very far back. Speaking of positioning, he's getting collapsed on right now on his own Harpies, but he gets a great ultimate off. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. The RDO should be able to clean up that kill. She will, but now Scylla actually dashes down. Her ulti's down from earlier. That's her beads, and that should be a 1-for-1 mid laner for mid laner trade, and the game has really started to ramp up in the action as we approach the 8-minute marker. Take a look at these mid lane builds. You can see they're quite similar. Vulcan opted for the cooldown boots, while Scylla went for the Healy McSteely, so she has a little bit more burst damage. The Healy McSteely build, you almost always see go into a Spear of Desolation. Athena rotating over to the dual lane, going to get that taunt right onto Shibalanke, forcing the dash. Huyi immediately times that jump for right when the dash ends. Shibalanke tried to beads it, but actually didn't quite get it off. Ended up beadsing in the air, wasting beads, not getting it anyway. Over on the right-hand side of the map, though, the fight continues. 3 members of Arthur Knights are here looking for Big Chief Isaiah, and my main is GM. Not quite able to find one yet, but the pull is good underneath the tier 2 tower for Fireball Ninja. Good play right there. Wait a second, but now he finds himself in an awkward spot. But his Decimator, his Kukulkan, his solo laner is there to zone for him to make sure that Sobek can't walk up and prevent him from backing. Good zoning right there, recognizing that his jungler was kind of in a weird spot. But in the middle lane now, RDO rotates over. Scylla lands the ulti, but no! She gets put down by the Vulcan ult. She tried to juke it, but she accidentally juked back into it. RDO gets the kill on the Vulcan, but not before he got one himself. Good play there from the Vulcan. Good play. Very nice, very nice. 4th place guaranteed, down about 1,500 gold right now. 1.1 XP, 1.3 in gold. We see the Vulcan has gotten the Chronos Pendant, so it's probably also going to make that a Chronos Pendant. I wouldn't be surprised to see both of these guys pick up Spear of Desolations after that. Neither of them particularly need anti-healing. If one of them was going to get anti-healing, it would be the Vulcan for against the Sobek, Camazotz, RDO. A little bit of team sustain right there, a little bit of self-sustain, but nothing super crazy. No super meta healers. A lot of them were actually banned out of the match. Athena waiting very patiently to see if a Shibalanke walks right up to him. Very smart wait right there. And now the rotation is over. Susano holds the 3 on Shibalanke until the dash is over so he can pick up this kill. Scylla around the corner. Doesn't land the root, but does land the crush. And now Susano is going to be rooted over by this purple buff as the purple buff tries to take him down. RDO once again grabs another kill. 4 in 0. 1-for-1 trade. Jungle for ADC. Both teams keeping themselves right in this. 5 to 6 kills at the 10-minute marker, still within a couple thousand gold. XP-wise, we can see Cullen barely ahead in the solo by 1 level. Susano has a 1-level lead in the jungle, even though he has recently been sent back to his fountain. Even in mid, even in ADC, and a 1-level lead for Ardio over Athena, which is expected. Now it's a 2-level lead, and a lot of that coming down to the fact that Ardio has 4 kills right now. I like the pickup of Stone of Binding here for Ardio, a little bit more aggressive, cheaper support item because he is 4 in 0. That's a smart pickup to make sure that they keep the pressure on. He gets to abuse some of that early game Guardian damage. And then he'll be able to slowly transition now into his Thebes, comparably to Athena, who is just going straight into the Thebes because she's not going to be doing a large damage output to begin with. Arthur Knights coming over here and sneaking a Pyromancer, while 4th place guaranteed isn't paying attention. That'll be the first objective of the game for them. And they slowly but steadily continue to increase their lead. Taking a look at these damage numbers, we can see Shibalanke. What a great damage output for him right now. 5,600 damage coming out. 4K from the Vulcan and 36 from Scylla. Even Ardio getting her name up there at 35. But that's a lot of Shibalanke damage. For a man that's 0, 2, and 4, he's getting off a lot of damage before he dies in these fights. Susano, on the other hand, didn't quite have a giant amount of damage coming out, but the damage that he is outputting is getting killed. So he is 3 to 1 right now. He's been making very good plays in the jungle all game long. You can see a difference in builds as well. Huyi got himself a Bloodforge, which gives him that big power spike while maintaining lifesteal, compared to Shibalanke, who went Transcendence to make sure that he can just use his bolas without having to worry about any of that mana cost, which means he's going to have to go a 3rd item Aussie in order to get that lifesteal online for him. But that does put Ryaz at a pretty large advantage here in the duo lane until he can get that Aussie online. Oracles are down in favor of Arthur Knight, which means they can start to get set up for a Gold Fury if they start to get some more Sentry Wards out. Although they do have decent Sentry Wards. You see one here, you see one here, but look at this. Look at these wards from 4th place guaranteed. Bam, right here. Bam, right here. Bam, right here. They've got so much vision around this gold that currently Arthur Knight can't actually see with their own wards, which is a little awkward for them. Arthur Knights might not realize how much vision that the enemy team actually has on them right now. Gold Fury's already down to half HP. Will 4th place guaranteed even be able to get here in time? Scylla ultis over the wall, lands onto Fireball Ninja. Sanjay picks up the kill onto Athena. That's 2 kills down there right now. These wards are making huge plays. Sanjay making use of the damage, finally getting it for him. 3 kills for that big fat damage output. They didn't get the Gold Fury, but they did get 3 kills, and all 3 of them onto their Shibalanke, courtesy of those well-placed wards. If we look at Golden Hand right now, Shibalanke's got 3K. Huyi might be in trouble. He had to beat, he had to Aegis. He gets plucked underneath the tier 2. He's in a hard spot. Oh, the double ricochet almost landed. Athena trying to come back in and save him, but no, it's not going to be enough. That makes it 4 kills during that, plus a tier 1 tower over in the mid lane. And Shibalanke is going to go spend some well-earned cash in what was just a 3,000 lead for Arthur Knights. Look at this. Look at that graph spiking right on back. They still maintain a 1,600 gold lead, but they're actually slightly down in experience. Game is once again even at the 15-minute marker. This is what I call a finals, dude. Solid plays for both teams. 4th place guaranteed finds themselves slightly in the kill lead. To be noted, Arthur Knights did win the last game while being behind in the kill count. So it's not like they haven't been in this position before. But one thing they haven't been in this position against is a Shibalonge with 8,000 damage right now. They haven't been in that position quite yet. Kukulin, level 15. Running through the jungle, gets caught out right there by a Scylla. Really hard to put down. Kukulins, though, even with 3 people being over there, it's not wise to waste too much time going for that. You waste a bunch of time going for the solo laner, then you miss out on farm, you get buy in an XP. It's just not worth it. Good poke there, though. Onto the Athena, and Shibalonge diving for the Huyi. But he gets caught out by that Huyi ulti, which allows him to live. Couldn't connect on the last couple of autos. That would have given him that kill. And a great rotation from Fireball Ninja over to the duo lane. Picks up 1 for Arthur Knight. Huyi does have that Blood Forge, and he went into a 3rd item, Rage. Went into some early crit right there before getting anything else online. Has a bit of time to kind of free farm over in the duo lane while his lane opponent is dead for the next 20 seconds. Sentry Ward battle has begun near the Fire Giant. This is mostly for the Pyromancer at this point, but also just to make sure nobody tries to get any sneaky, cheeky plays with the Fire Giant. You've got to always make sure, really starting around the 14, 15 minute marker to make sure you've got vision. Ardio getting a little too comfortable, I think, with their push right here. Find yourself surrounded by quite a few members of Arthur Knights. Now Kukulin is going to keep initiating this fight. Athena ulting back in onto Ardio. Scylla gets a good crush off, but Susano ulti will land on 3 as they try to come back in from the mid lane. Still, Ardio is alive. Finally gets put down. Lord Led might be put down in the backline as well. Camazot's 3 isn't quite enough to kill him, but the rest of his abilities should. He gets picked up right there. Support for support. But he's still kind of running down this lane. He doesn't have his ulti up. Ryaz has rotated over. Shibalonge is about to be here as well. Both teams kind of resetting off of this. 1-for-1, support for support. That's a big fight just to lose your Guardians. That was a lot of action. Somehow, though, Arthur Knight, they keep this gold difference slowly but steadily. Look at this. It's like a little staircase. They keep winning in the gold department. They're just out farming right now. 4th place guaranteed. Their pace of their game is just a little bit faster on the farm. Even though in the team fights, they are slightly losing the team fights right now to 4th place guaranteed, who do have slightly more kills. Very interesting to see that dynamic pretty consistently this game and last. Just goes to show that both farming and team fighting, extremely important parts of Smite. And it's interesting to see one team be better at one and the other be better at the other. And now Sanjay will get caught out once again as he gets 4-man rotated on the Gold Fury at spawn. They wanted to get ready for it, so they quickly pick up the Shibalonge, bring down the Hunter, bring down the top damage dealer, get themselves a free tier 1 tower, and now they should be able to back up and reset towards this Gold Fury. They do have to be a little careful, though, because they use Susano, Huyi, and Vulcan. So they've got 3 ultimates down. So even though they're a member down, it actually might be a decent fight for 4th place guaranteed. They seem to think the same thing. Ardio goes right on in, forces the bees onto Susano. Still not getting enough damage off in the backline right now. Camazotz actually finds himself down way too quickly. And now Arthur Knights is feeling pretty confident. Beads and Aegis comes out on Huyi. Unfortunately, it didn't matter. He didn't avoid any of that damage. Ardio tries to dash out and gets caught by the Athena taunt, which means she is 100% dead. Decimator says, I'm Kukulin. I can hold down the W key with no fear in the world. Athena might look for a greedy taunt. No. Kukulin will continue to dive in. He's got to be careful. He's lucky he didn't get rooted right there, but he's got plucked. That's going to be a dead Decimator. No! He actually dumps over the Scylla ulti. Scylla has to use her beats and Aegis right there. Decimator will die for his aggressions, but Gold Fury goes down for the Arthur Knight. Still in a big favor for them. You can see that little spike where Kukulin died. But for the most part, 3,000 XP, 5,700 gold. If we look at the gold in hand right now as well, 3,500. on the Yeezys. He is spending that cash as we speak. I'm trying to decide what he wants to buy. It's going to be an Executioner. Full Executioner. Arthur Knights, man. 11 to 11. They even up the kills. Very good plays from Fireball Ninja. Landing some massive ultimates in these fights. They're making some really good pickoffs as well. 4th place guaranteed. They haven't had a real true 5v5 team fight. So I wouldn't be too down right now if I was them. They've got 5 people grouped up around here at Pyromancer. With their Shibalanke alive, these team fights will be a whole different story when Arthur Knights does have to fight into that blindness effect, plus all the damage that he's outputting. Good attempt on that Athena taunt right there, actually. I like that. Scylla Beads and Aegis are down, which means that there's a very, very good chance that if they get any follow-up right there, she just dies. Lord of Light this time looking for her, though. Surrounded by all 5 members of 4th place guaranteed. Hui ulti, good zoning technique. The Volcano comes down, does not connect on anybody. Ardio very low as Kukulin tries to pick it up. Ah, little turret kill right there for Billy the Bump. Fireball Ninja running away from Camazotz, trying to be super sneaky right here. In fact, Sandshrew being sneaky himself gets a kill in the back line, just running at the Vulcan. It will be enough. Decimator is kind of waiting for his transform to come. It might not come in time. He might die before he ever gets it off. The Athena taunt plus the Susano combo is going to be enough to pick up the Scylla right there. Decimator still waiting on that transform. It's almost procced, but he's not going to need it, luckily, because he wasn't going to get it. 2 for 1, barely in favor of Arthur Knights, but Shibalanke did stay alive during that fight. So they've got an ability to do the Pyromancer if they wanted to. A bit greedy. But as long as they've got their Hunter alive, they can continue to look for stuff like that. Scylla actives will be up for the next engagement. Vulcan used his Aegis there. Ooh. Camazotz almost got caught out getting too much farm. Arthur Knights immediately back over to the Pyromancer. Arthur Knights do not mess around with objectives. They are always keeping them in mind. RDL's going to go for the steal, though. No, Arthur Knights does secure it, and now he might be in trouble. Like, he's going to try to dash out of this, but he's going to get knocked out by Susano. The Susano ulti's going to follow up, and now Big Chief Isaiah. That's going to be a 2-for-0 trade, plus the Pyromancer. And Arthur Knights continues to extend out their lead right now, and the Fire Giant has been started. Sandshrew looks like he wants to maybe walk over and look at this Fire Giant, but no, it's going to be too little, too late. The Fire Giant, in about a 9,000 gold lead, goes in the way of Arthur Knight, who can extend out that lead even further as they continue towards this Tier 2 tower. 4th place guaranteed. They may not be able to get 4th, but they may just get 2nd place. Better than their namesake, but probably not exactly what they were hoping for today. Arthur Knight's going to be backing right on up. Spending that cash that they have. Scylla getting some last little farm. XP-wise right now, 1 level ahead for Arthur Knights in the solo, 3 in the jungle, 1 actually behind in the mid lane, even in ADC, and 1 ahead in the support role. Fourth place guaranteed has played so well around the map as individuals. They've played so good in team fights. It seems that their weakness throughout these 2 games has been 2 major things. 1, objective. You can see the objectives on the map. 2 gold fairies for Arthur Knights, 1 fire giant, plus they got the pyromancer. Last game, when they were actually doing decent in the objectives, they actually lost a couple crucial objectives, were stolen from them, particularly the fire giant in the last match. That really hurt them. That particular objective play, and also just individual farm. They seem to have just slightly not maximized their farm whether they weren't splitting enough XP with each other to maximize the XP bonus for splitting, or whether they just weren't quite getting to camps fast enough to maximize and make respawn timers happen quicker. Those seem to be their two major issues. Mechanically, everybody's landing abilities. They're grouping up. They're having good team fights. It's not like they're getting blown out in kills, right? 12 to 15. They've been doing good on that front. They just didn't quite get the fights when they needed for the objectives. They didn't quite force objectives, maybe when they needed them as well. And now they are back onto the Phoenix defense duty. They'll be down 15K for it. Not that much experience, though. Luckily, they've pretty much evened out the experience on the two most important members of their team. They are mid and their ADC. So that is good for them. If we look at damage numbers done, you can see 15,000 damage and 14,000 damage. That's very important for their comeback prospects, keeping both of them towards the top of those damage numbers. But Susano, man, at 18K, so much more damage than his jungle Camazot's counterpart. Very, very scary right there. And Susano Ultimate is wonderful. During Phoenix fights, pretty much covers the whole entrance to that Phoenix. So you can really get a lot of utilization out of it. Athena gonna be looking for that dash taunt. Scylla just looking for any poke that she can get before this fight breaks out. Volcano comes down, hits the Sobek. Susano ulti not going to connect, I don't think, on as much people as he would have wanted. But Kukulin diving into the backline. He's trying to put down the Scylla. Scylla's trying to get away. Thorns comes down and Kukulin. They don't get the Scylla. In fact, no members of 4th place guaranteed die. So they do get the Phoenix, but nobody's died yet. So they've got an opportunity to set up for round 2. Here on this mid Phoenix and go for it again. In fact, they're going to push the fight. Shibulake ulti is coming out. They force Beach. They force Aegis onto the Huyi. Barely gets his jump off before that cribble. Sobek lands the pluck, but the CC immunity for Susano was still on. Ardio can't quite get in range of the Susano to put him down, but they do get Billy the Bob. That's a dead Vulcan. Athena is going to go down as well. Going to lead this team on as much of a wild goose chase as she can. One Phoenix down, but they killed 2 members and stay to live another day. Good fight for 4th place guaranteed right there. Very, very, very important that Sandshrew lived in that initial push. He got so low, and Kukulin tried to get him in the back line, but him living right there allowed them to maintain their mage damage on that counter push. And so they only lose 1 Phoenix, and now the Fire Giant has respawned. And so both teams should start to get set up around the Fire Giant. Unfortunately, 4th place guaranteed will have to keep pushing out the minions over in the dual lane in order to make sure that they don't push in and attack the Titan. Will Sanjay go for one more wave? No, he is going to rotate over starting now. The longer Arthur Knights just AFKs and waits on this fight over here, the longer those creeps push in over in the duo lane. 4th place guaranteed wants to fight, and they want it quick. Arthur Knights can just play the patience game. Make them wait it out. Arthur Knights immediately walking over and starting to Fire Giant. No fear in the world. Fire Giant does become enhanced fire in 30 seconds, and they're not giving it up for free. Blue's blinking in here. Vulcan's ulting down. Arthur Knights secure the Fire Giant, and they get Ardio while they're at it. This could be it. It is still the baby Fire Giant. They did not get the enhanced fire. They had to wait for 30 minutes to get that, but Fireball Ninja picks off Camazot's. Shibalanke now over here. Looks like he might get picked off. Ooh, a good save from his Scylla, but there's still more coming. Fireball Ninja. Scylla might have accidentally sacrificed his own life for Shibalanke. Once again, a good turnaround, but a double taunt from Athena comes in onto the Scylla, onto the Shibalanke. Shibalanke had his beads up to live right there, but that's going to be all she wrote. Arthur Knights get themselves the 2nd Fire Giant of the game. They push in past the Phoenixes. They realize, hey, we don't need that Phoenix. We're going for the Titan. We're going to end it. Arthur Knights take the finals 2-0, but not before Sanjay gets one last lick in. He gets a kill on Athena. increase that KDA. Great games from 4th place guaranteed and Arthur Knights. Hey, nothing wrong with the 2nd place guaranteed. Nothing wrong at all with that. Fantastic. My goodness. Really good gameplay coming out right there from both teams. Quite impressed to see them come out and have such good team fight, such good communication. The back and forth. Just a little bit of throwing, honestly, from both teams. But Arthur Knights comes out on the right side in both of those games. Sanjay, my main is GM, Sandtrue, Big Chief Isaiah, and Blue will be taking 2nd place in our May tournament. Arthur Knights, guys, will be your victors with Fireball Ninja, Billy the Bob, Lord Lud, Decimator, and hi-rez. And we have, guys, Fireball Ninja and Lord Lud here with us with a quick little interview. Well, howdy.
Hello.
How are you guys feeling?
Pretty good. That was great.
That was a pretty dang good game. So was there anybody on your team that was particularly in charge of picks and bans, or was that a team effort?
That was all Fireball.
It was mostly me.
You mostly took charge of the picks and bans?
Yeah, kind of just did my research before, knew what we like to pick from our experience, and kind of went with it. Yeah, but it was mostly me.
Did you guys do any VOD review of the team that had played prior, and did you guys get any scrims in this week?
We haven't done any scrims, but we play casuals together sometimes, and we obviously had the screenshots of the comps the other teams had picked, so we've been looking at those.
Fantastic. All right. As far as the in-game stuff goes, did you guys utilize Fireball for the jungle shot calling, or were you going back and forth between support and jungle? How were you guys handling the in-game aspects?
Fireball would call every fight, and I would get a few objective calls in, but mostly Fireball would set everything up for me.
There's nothing wrong with that because the jungle has so much control over the map. So there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of a secondary vision on the map and looking around and be like, ooh, time to go get a Gold Fury. But I appreciate you guys coming out into this little Discord interview. Congrats on your win. And are you guys playing next month? Can I expect to see you both on teams?
I will be.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Then everybody will be rooting for you as you get presumably separated out onto some different teams, and we'll see how you guys do. Thank you for coming in, and congrats on your win.
Thank you.
And that, guys, is going to be it for our May tournament series. Congratulations to Arthur Knights on grabbing that victory. Well-fought battle for them. They will be taking home the grand prize, guys, $150 a person. But no fear, 4th place guaranteed will still be getting $100 a person. So they are, I'm sure, are still very, very happy with their performance. I can also announce, guys, that we have the G Fuel sales for May. Which means we can announce that the official prize pool for the July tournament is going to be $1,800. It's going to be $1,880 will be the prize pool for the upcoming June tournament. I said July, I think. June tournament, excuse me. This next tournament, that was a $1,500 base tournament, plus the money that we made from G Fuel, which was $380, which means that the June prize pool total now will be $1,880, which is our biggest prize pool yet. So congratulations to everybody that signed up for those tournaments. So you will have a chance to win that. Our July tournament, we will have signups for that going soon, guys. We will have signed up soon for the July tournament. The June signups are done with. You can no longer sign up for that. And so we'll be getting those July ones up for you.